partido se reanuda con tablas en el marcador.
La verdad es que las ocasiones claras de verdad suelen escasear, pero por ahora las han aprovechado.
La controla Forlán. Un pase más. El equipo atacante sigue buscando nueva suerte.
How's it going, guys? My name is Alex.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good afternoon.
And in today's video, I would like to talk about my favorite manager in this game. Very unexpectedly for me, it is Roman, or whatever his name is. It is Pep Guardiola in this game. And I was probably doing a very big mistake this season. I was really relying on the stats of the manager that you can of course check if you're playing on PC or console. You have the stats, but on mobile you don't have access to stats like defensive line, compactness, and I felt like when I'm checking that and I'm seeing defensive line very high, compactness is like average, not very high, you're prone to conceding goals through the middle, and that's why I haven't really played with El Roman the entire season. I felt like 1-2 passes are so OP, people are playing 4-3-1-2, these goals are definitely gonna be going through my center-back pairing, especially when I have this kind of weak center-backs. I'm using this team for matchday events, and this is a full Manchester United team, as you can see. And with that said, I decided to give it a try and actually play with El Roman, despite it's been the end of the season, and actually I must say the high defensive line is benefiting your attack so much. You can score more goals than your opponent. Without further ado, I would like to try this out in match days and see how it goes. Alright, so here we go, we play against Barcelona team. He has a few Barcelona players in his team. I have a lot of iconic Mount players. The only problem I can kind of identify right now that my Ryan Giggs is playing outside of his position and there is not even light green slot for him, so meaning that he is essentially lost on the pitch. And yes, I sometimes felt that, but nonetheless, let's hope that it's not happening right here. The entire team usually feels very good just because you're playing match days and you have these blue arrows and essentially helping all of your players like perform better, be less scripted. And I played it with some underrated cerebral teams as well, and Pep was fantastic. Brian Robson, by the way, and he's he's scoring so fast over here. Brian Robson with a goal, very nice. He decided to shield I mean, I decided of course, but Brian Robson executed that perfectly, scoring a goal in the 6 minutes. My opponent made a mistake with net, but just decided to take that loose touch, was dispossessed and of course punished for that. I mean, I feel like it's more beneficial to have lots of players up for you to help you with attacks than having a low defensive line, because as you can see my opponent plays long balls and I kinda clear this one, especially considering I don't really have the best defensive four. Like, yes, Wan-Bissaka is probably the best right back in this game, arguably if you're into defensive fullbacks. But other than that, it's not that impressive, as my opponent is trying to actually, yes, he's doing a very nice quick stop with Leo Messi. That was probably unnecessary. He could have run forward there, but he probably decided to like predict what is gonna happen before. This is how bad this game is, like in terms of input delay. Like, you have to predict what is happening next, and then sometimes you're making a big mistake. Beckham passing to Folland maybe, and I mean, that's so easy. And especially, check this out, this was a quick counter. Like, this is a possession-based manager. We scored a very quick counter goal. My opponent did, remember, last thing that, like, last mistake, I would say, error of my opponent. He's trying to run with Ansu Fati there, making a fake shot. Very nice, by the way. It's like, it's not even a mistake. Like, he decided to make a quick stop with Leo Messi to gain some momentum, and he conceded to a quick counter. And Pep is capable of performing those, as you can see. Forlan passing it to Robson, maybe we try some banger than win Robson. Wow, Robson is so good. I mean, what a fantastic goal by Brian Robson here. As you can see again, it was a little bit like a combination of counter-attack and a possession-based game, because it's really unfortunate for my opponent to concede 3 goals at this point, but definitely these attacks are deadly, and especially when you have your players on green arrow, I'm pretty sure it benefits my attacks as well. We win the first half with the score 3-0. My opponent had 0 shots on target, and this is obviously not because he was bad or like he didn't had a shot, and he could have taken the shot with Messi, but essentially I had a lot of possession. This is what you want to have with your possession-based managers, and definitely this Pep manager delivers, and I'm a fraud for not using him previously. I felt like it's bad when you have high defensive line, and it's even worse when you have high defensive line combined with okay, nice, Mason Greenwood, some skill moves, very nice. And it's especially bad when you have combined with a low, like that. Oh, here, you see the passes, this is the probably a downside, and Lindelof doing very well in defense there. The low compactness is not really beneficial for your defense, but this manager is more about like you capable of scoring more goals than your opponent and finding those type of spaces. And Forlan passing to Beckham. Can we find an opening for some? Decided to be a little bit, yeah, just my bad. And we can consider a quick counter right now. As you can see, all of my defenders are out of position, and fortunately, somehow they played an offside trap. Although I have that off, sometimes your players do that. Even they even show that with their hands, like that. This apparently it was an offside position. My opponent probably stopped playing. I don't know what he's doing there. It was actually a decent opponent. Like, as you have seen, he did very well in the first half. Apart from conceding 3 goals, he knows his dribbling stuff. Greenwood is on the ball, passing it maybe to Forlan. Forlan, I see that maybe we can cross it to Bex. Bex can easily finish this one, and he is doing exactly that. That's a 4th goal of the game. Very, very nice. That's even like the problem is that my opponent definitely didn't deserve to concede like 4 and score 0. Like, despite having 0 shots on target, 0 shots overall. I guess it is at this point 0 shots, right? He played well, and he has in any other given scenario this could have been a completely different game, but the strikers are deadly for this team, and of course the manager, I would give him some benefit. Come on, Rashford. Could have been 5th. And let's see some goals that I have scored. Bex passing it to Brian Robson. Robson was, I believe, the man of the match. He scored 2 goals, was overall very good, maybe even provided an assist. This one was a very dirty tackle from Maldini there, and that's a goal. Bex provided an assist, score goal as well, so maybe a second contender for the man of the match. And overall, this formation 4-3-3 is like so good because you can obviously choose between attacking midfielders and center midfielders for 2 spots. That's very underrated. I use currently attacking midfielder with Bex and center midfielder with Robson. And alright, as we are playing against kind of like a mediocre team, just unfortunate that we couldn't really get a decent opponent this time. It's kind of unfair. I have so many iconic moment players. It's not necessarily that it's I like, what should I do? I have these players. I want to use them in matchday because I get the bonus, the multiplier. I got literally half of these players from the last season, half of these players this season. Wasn't really something that's like it's a pay to win or whatnot, apart from, I believe, Marcus Rashford. But nonetheless, it's a Manchester United versus Barcelona that probably could have played someone else instead of Matic, maybe Pogba. Matic is good because of being an anchorman in the middle. I believe using anchorman in this formation is given just because of how attacking you are already, and sometimes you need someone like here. Matic is doing his work. A box-to-box player would probably not be stopping that attack. Marcus Rashford is on the ball, taking a shot and scoring. First time finishing from Marcus Rashford. Very nice. I mean, that's what I expect from my strikers, from my wingers. Marcus Rashford playing a second striker. Really appreciate that. And let's see if we'll be able to maybe score a few more. First goal in 5 minutes. That's, you love to see it. Alright, intercepting that with Forlan, and that can be a quick counter. Let's see how good my opponent and my players are creating their openings. Sorry, Marcus Rashford is on the ball, and a little bit Brian Robson still on the ball, passing it to Forlan, and Forlan is just flopping there. And the thing is, like, I wasn't really rushing there with my strikers, and my players were like flying forward to benefit from that counter-attacking opportunities. As you can see right now, Beckham is flying forward. He's an attacking midfielder. And Rashford, after just a little bit overpowered pass there from Rashford. And overall, it's very pleasant to see your players creating openings for themselves without like forcing them every single time, like I do with 1-2 passes. And 1-2 passes is a technique that you probably can't really survive in this game. It's like so important. Just don't use it on your defensive midfielders like Matic there, for instance. And the problem with 1-2 passes that your players making forward runs, and sometimes they're really stupid. But other than that, I really need those runs. So I mean, I need to commit to those anyway. Marcus Rashford with audacious backheel pass, and not necessarily what I wanted in that situation. And over here right now, for instance, Robson wouldn't probably, even he's a whole player, I mean, can I rely on the whole player run there? Probably it's better to like make a 1-2 pass and be sure that he's making this run, right? You know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, it will be a really long passing sequence before your player is making the run that you expect him to make. Free kick, and that is definitely will be taken by David Beckham. And if Beckham is scoring this one, that's a nice curl. Maybe that's a goal from David Beckham. Of course it is.
Dilly din, dilly dong, come on!
Of course it's a goal from David Beckham. What else would you expect? Fantastic goal. We can't skip the celebration, but we can't really even watch the goal. We probably will be watching that goal at the end of the game. And we probably can have some fun now. Lindelof is on the ball. Becks passing it to Forlan. What he's doing there, turning around, very nice. Passing it to Giggs, and you see how Robson is so attacking. That's whole player playstyle there activated. Forlan maybe scoring this one. What a beautiful attack! You will have to see it. What a fantastic attack! Check this out. Okay, we can't see the replays, but I will definitely be watching those, I believe, at the end of the game. Hopefully my opponent is not rage quitting. Let's try some skills with De Gea. De Gea is on the ball, and unfortunately, we can see the goal. No. Oh no. Oh, my opponent is gonna be celebrating. Oh, you know what I'm doing? I am actually playing Marcus Rashford as a goalkeeper now, and let's see how it goes. My opponent celebrating them. I mean, I didn't celebrate the goals. The one that I celebrated was forced because I couldn't skip a replay from Beck's free kick. Right, so De Gea will be the second striker now. Maybe it's better to play De Gea as a center forward, actually, now that I think about that. And Cavani will move on to the left. Tactical substitution was really required. De Gea is on the ball. And let's start this attack. Maybe we can score a goal with De Gea, you never know. Paul Scholes to David De Gea. Number one, a fake shot into passing to Brian Robson. Very nice start from David De Gea already. David De Gea turning around, maybe keeping the possession there against Johan Cruyff, and definitely getting the ball back. Marcus Rashford is on the ball. Maybe try to dribble with Marcus Rashford now. Marcus Rashford, fake shot. Marcus Rashford dinking it in front of Johan Cruyff and running. We can run that with Marcus Rashford forward. Okay, so another fake shot, and maybe, Leo Messi, the best tackler in this game. As we know, oh, that was a bad decision. You should have definitely tried a simple shot there. And yeah, it's actually very fun. My opponent decided to celebrate. That's what you get for celebrating a goal, especially when you're 3 goals down. Marcus Rashford is a fake shot, and of course intercepted. Johan Cruyff scoring this one. He can celebrate all he wants. I mean, that's actually very fun. My opponents celebrating when they are losing in the game, especially when they are being completely mugged off. It's curb your enthusiasm moment, essentially. And as we are conceding another goal, I mean, important right now is not to concede the third one. Bissaka is on the ball, a double touch from Wan-Bissaka, leaving Torres in the mud, and that is essentially it. The end of the game. We consider 2 stupid goals. It's not the case. You can't really make the case that this manager is really bad defensively. Because of that, it is, as I obviously said, not that reliable because of the high defensive line. I feel like it's still quite fraudulent, but nonetheless, it's a manager that you probably would want to try and maybe disregard the high defensive line and low compactness, and overall, maybe it's a very fun manager to use this and next season. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Boom!